Here we are. Welcome back to the Creative Library Podcast. Wow. So we've been on a little hiatus of about a year and a half or two. But we will catch you up here soon. But the biggest, newest addition to the podcast is a brand new co-host, Mr. Daniel Wolf. Hello, Daniel. Just a little backstory. Actually, Daniel, how do we know each other?
So me and Leo worked at a small company for a little bit. We and it grew actually quite large for a media company, and we worked together for a little over a year, and it's how we met. He actually came into the company when I was already working there, and we got to know each other pretty well. And then, we both kind of moved on to other things in life for the time being.
Mm-hmm. But the friendship was bonded.
Certainly, the friendship was there. We definitely created quite the friendship while we were working there.
But no, yeah, we were at a company, and we got to work on a ton of projects together. We were both kind of like project managers and filmmakers and editors and all that stuff. And through that, I mean, man, went through some crazy stuff, being on projects where we just, honestly, at times, we just had no idea what the heck we were doing. But somehow, a beautiful product came out the other end.
Yeah, definitely. I was always amazed at how things just ended up coming out all right. So that was the beauty of it.
My favorite one, I will never forget. We were filming, and I think you were DP for that shoot, and I was setting up audio, and somehow I had the boom pole, and I was checking audio, and I was like, I think this sounds all right. And like at the end of the shoot, I'm like, that sounded a little hollow. Like, what was going on there? And I look at the boom, dude. I had that thing pointed up at the ceiling rather than at the at the talent. I felt like the biggest idiot.
At least it was on. At least it was recording. Yeah. So
at there, a little positivity. I like it. At least it was on. I like that.
Yeah, because I've had plenty of stories, especially from friends, that are like, I forgot to press record. I forgot to do this, and it's like at least ours is on. Yeah, we never did that again though. We always double check the audio thing.
Oh, I learned my lesson quick. But it was awesome. But yeah, so yeah, we got to work together and off doing other things now. But hey, I figure if we're gonna reboot this Creative Library podcast, why not bring in this guy who just has a whole bunch of knowledge, and we'd probably call each other and talk about film stuff anyway. So might as well record it. Actually, for the audience, if y'all don't know, I am actually in Nashville now. I'm not in Morgantown, West Virginia. And I'm not in Houston. I am in Nashville. But Daniel is still in Houston, so we are podcasting remotely. But yeah, so Daniel, do you want to share a little bit of just kind of like your filmmaking history, like what you've done in the past, what you're doing now, what you want to do in the future, whether filmmaking related or not?
Yeah, certainly. In the past and all, I started in kind of like high school, learned a bit about camera and stuff, loved the visual effects. Wasn't very good at it. Went to college for it to study film, and then got a degree in it. Won a couple of awards at a film festival. Nothing big, nothing like no like national or even like state big film fest. Just school film fests and stuff. After that, I graduated and looked around, did some freelancing jobs. Landed my job at the job where me and Leo met. Worked there, actually developed my skills heavily there. Learned a lot, studied a lot on, everybody does it pretty much nowadays. Study on YouTube, study blogs, study other people's techniques, go out and shoot. learn it all. I ended up editing a ton of different projects, so I proceeded to get my own knowledge from the work I was actually physically manipulating and place that to my own craft as well. So I was really thrown. I was thrown into the fire and came out very, very knowledgeable in the field.
I remember when when I first came, I think I was coming down for like an interview for that place, and I remember seeing your work, and I was like, "Oh gosh, this guy knows way more than I do."
Yeah, and then on my end, I was like, "Oh crap, this guy's gonna pull me out of the water!" Like I was like screaming. I was like, "There's no way!" I'm like, "We gotta hire this guy. He knows so much. I could learn so much from him."
And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. These guys are such fools for hiring me. No, it was definitely a mutual respect of talent, work, and I mean, from there, I mean, it really just grew to just pushing each other to grow more, and yeah, that was a ton of fun.
The greatest thing was being able to be on set with someone that has very similar knowledge to you, so that it's kind of a mix of talking about the shoot and a mix of just talking about crap. All the shoots were nonchalant. All the shoots felt I mean, they were still professional, obviously, but they felt so easygoing because it's just after a little bit you kind of learn what each other does, and it felt so nice. And that was what I really enjoyed on the shoots, at least.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I mean, for anybody listening, like if you ever, if you have a crew that you run with or whatever, like, you get to know, strengths, weaknesses. I mean, obviously you have inside jokes and everything, but like, I feel like the moment you make a set just tense, or I don't know, just, you have to keep it fun, right? Like, you're just joking around, doing whatever you want, and but still like knocking it out of the park. And that doesn't just go with the crew, but like for talent too. I mean, we were one of our biggest projects was with a private school, and we had a ton of fun with them. It was people of all ages. And we just always had a blast with every single one of them, and just keep it fun on set. And so, yeah, once you start building that friendship, that bond with your crew, man, every project's a ton of fun.
Well, why don't we go into what we're going to be talking about, or the future of the podcast?
Yeah, for sure. So if you listen to the first 5 episodes of the Creative Library podcast, that it was very much, I mean, we're going to try to keep on the same trajectory. Creative Library is all about like, we want to be able to build a library essentially of creatives, people in a whole bunch of different fields, whether it's filmmaking, photography, whatever, graphic design, I mean, anybody who's a creative, we want to bring them on and interview them and see how they got to where they are and where they plan on going, so that any creative can come, listen to the podcast, and catch up. Maybe it's like one of their favorite people in the field. You're going to get to know them. Also, I mean, Daniel and I, we just, we love talking gear. We love talking just anything camera related. And so we'll talk camera reviews. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of like just bring you in on what our normal conversations are usually like. And honestly, anything else that comes to mind. We talk about a lot of things. Daniel is, fun fact, he's into stocks. He will talk your ear off about stocks. I learned a ton, which, by the way, Daniel, you will be happy to hear my Robinhood account is at $21 today.
Nice. I am currently up 200 today, and I was up 300 yesterday. So
nice.
And I'm trying to get my roommate into it, but I will not digress. That is a very scary conversation starter.
Yeah, dude, I will say the in is Robinhood with those free stocks, bro. I started off, I have invested $0 and I am up $21.
Dude, okay. I want to give you one tidbit. One piece of advice with how dividends work. If anyone knows how dividends work, it's they pay quarterly and they pay a percentage, and they usually have a percentage annually. So I was doing some research in mathematics, and if you were to invest into, like, let's say AT&T, $15,000, and I know $15,000 it seems like a lot, but it kind of isn't when you think about it. You would get an annual dividend rate of about $1,000, and what that means is that with $15,000, you technically would get a free bill from AT&T every time for the year, because you get $1,000 worth of dividends by the end of the year.
That's awesome.
Just saying. Anyway,
I like it. I like it. And that is a good segue into catching up on what I've been doing since the last episode, because I currently work at a financial place with Mr. Dave Ramsey. He is not for those kinds of stocks, single stocks. But hey, it's okay. I think I can still be your friend. I think we can still make this podcast. We'll be all right.
Oh, he would absolutely detest what I'm doing right now.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, so just a little catch up, and we'll wrap up. So, yeah, for me, I was, actually the last episode of this podcast, I was actually still in Morgantown. I was still in West Virginia, and then life got crazy because we moved down to Houston. We had a kid, and down there for about a year and a half, and then this opportunity opened up. So now I'm in Nashville working for Dave Ramsey. I'm a video producer, and having a ton of fun. And fun fact, the first day back at starting up a filmmaking podcast is the day I'm selling all of my gear. So I don't know if that disqualifies me from doing a filmmaking podcast, but
I just don't understand. Like, we're making a filming YouTube channel and you're selling all your gear. I don't own any gear either. So we're starting off strong right now. This is pretty good.
It's fantastic. We know exactly what we're talking about. Trust us. We are professionals. No, but yeah, no, for me, selling off gear, it's really, I mean, actually, I might be going the Scott Dawsey route of not really getting a camera body. And, if I'm hired for a project or something, just rent it out. I'm thinking of investing in solid glass. I really want to go like really nice vintage glass, maybe even some vintage anamorphic stuff. Oh, we'll talk about it later. But we want to keep these short. So I know previous episodes, they've been like an hour long, but I don't think you want to hear me and Daniel for an hour. So
I mean, they might. I don't know if we're talking about something interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe the one guy out there that wants to listen to us. But yeah, no. Any final thoughts, Mr. Daniel?
No, I'm looking forward to just having person to talk to kind of thing. I mean, what me, at least Leo is working in community kind of group and all with Dave Ramsey and stuff, and I'm currently actually just on my own. So having a person to talk to and having a community to help build, and because I've been by myself for quite a bit, doing my own thing at the moment. Although it has been fun, and I do have my own community in that respect, but to be able to talk about film-related stuff again is always fun and all, and I'm really looking forward to, honestly, just literally the conversations.
Yeah, for sure. Likewise. I mean, yeah, we're selling off gear and all that stuff, but I know for me on my side, one thing that's going to be hitting the channel is I am going to still be doing some freelance stuff. So I may not be able to record stuff from Dave Ramsey shoots, but I am on those freelancing things. I am going to be doing some behind the scenes kind of stuff. And And yeah, so I already have some things in the works. So, we can do some lighting breakdowns and all that fun stuff. So filmmaking is here to stay, and hopefully we know what we're talking about. But yeah, so I think that's the end of the episode, man. So,
Okay.
we will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.